Hi everyone, it's Misty here. Welcome to another Fanny Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. So I've already stamped Gladys and I went ahead and colored in her pupils. I guess this is what they are. Because I kept going, what does she look like? Who does she look like? Who does she look like? And she reminded me of the Gerber baby. So my initial thought for this card was for it to be, I thought we had a word die that said baby, but I don't have one in my stash. I was going to have to say, oh, baby, because the way she's standing, she looks like she could also be pregnant. So this was initially meant to be like a welcome baby or a, just kind of, oh, baby shower card, and kind of morphed into something different. But if you have the dies or if you have a sentiment that says, welcome baby or whatever, I think she would work perfectly for that. So I will add my marker combinations in the description box probably tomorrow. Let me tell you guys, I am doing this voiceover at 8 p.m. Today was a rough day. I had a treatment and we hadn't done it in 3 weeks, and whoo, my body said, no, Missy, no. So I'm not feeling the best, but I'm feeling well enough to do a voiceover and to get this edited because I want you guys to see it. And I went with a yellow color palette. And the reason why I did that is I have this Christmas paper from Doodlebug, because it's always Doodlebug, and it has the exact same pattern, or basically the exact same pattern on it as the stencil. And I thought, oh, that's perfect. So I did, I stamped on the paper, and we're going to do some paper piecing. Again, just the way she's standing with like her hands behind her back just reminds me of a mama when she's like about to be, ready to her due date or whatever, and her belly sticks out and she keeps her hand behind her back. So yeah, I still think this would make her really, but she could also, I thought this was Tabitha at first. I was like, is this Tabitha? And I had to ask Kevin because I've seen maybe 2 episodes of I Dream a Genie. not I Dream a Genie, Misty, Lord. Bewitched, because I grew up in the sticks and we didn't have cable, and by the time I moved out on my own and had cable, it just like wasn't something that I like gravitated to. So I've only seen a couple of them, but so I'd ask Kevin, I was like, who is this? So I looked up some reference photos of her, and the actress that played her, it looks like she had kind of auburn hair. So that's what I'm doing here. And something that I did that I think is a really good idea if you are in this, like you don't know what colors you want to use, etc. I went back and found a video where I used these exact colors on the character's hair and just pulled the hair colors from that. And I was like, why don't I do that more often? Why don't I just go back to what I've already created to find color combinations? Because I love this color combination. It has just a hint of red, but it's not too red. Now, the hint of red could also be because a lot of the like early colored TV shows and stuff, they seem to have more of a yellow tint. Maybe that's just me. But the reference picture had a bit of a yellow tint. So like a really warm lighting rather than the kind of natural or cool tone we're used to now. All right, it's time to color this little dress. So this is one of my favorite things to do when I'm doing paper piecing. I'll bring in some markers and like add some dimension. And this time, instead of just adding some shading, I went ahead and colored the whole thing. And you can see the pattern through the coloring, but I just felt like it needed it. And it's so cute. Like, Doodlebug to the rescue. When in doubt, Doodlebug it out. I cannot wait to see their Christmas collection this year. The one thing that I buy every year for the most part is the Christmas collection from Doodlebug. And if you're wondering, Misty, why Christmas is September? I already started my holiday card series on my channel. In fact, I have a video that needed to go up tonight and it didn't because of all of this. So I'll get to it eventually. So if you're interested, the Jolly Fed Elf, we're doing, this is my 10th holiday card series, which is kind of crazy. So I'm using a gold glitter pen for her earrings, for kind of the collar of her dress, and for her shoes. Now, originally, this dress was green, I believe. And again, I was like, I really want to go, like I found that paper, I was like, I'm going to do yellow. So I brought in the stencil in some yellow ink from Stamp Anything, and I am using a very detailed brush because I wanted this to be as dark as possible, and I'm going to go over it several times. I wanted the big stars to be dark and the little stars to have just a little bit of tint to them. So I went ahead and used this little tiny baby toothbrush brush. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember. And yeah, we're going to get that done. And then I'm going to bring in some yellow Nuvo drops. And I'm going to put those on these smaller stars. And I love these. I don't know why I had these on my desk, but I did. So I was like, yeah, let's use those. Okay, so this is a die from another company. But I initially thought I would use that because to me it looks like a beaded curtain. But I didn't like the way it looked. But I went ahead and saved all of the little circles. And you're going to see me use those again. Initially, I thought I would put a hello sentiment on this, and I decided not to use it. But I wanted to use this kind of retro die. I absolutely love it. I initially die cutted it with white paper before I committed because I was like, I don't want to screw this up and then not like it. And I really, really did. I think it's just such a fun die. And yeah. And I thought I was going to use this yellow polka dot. And for some reason, I thought I had to use this yellow polka dot. No, Misty, you don't have to use that yellow polka dot. Let's pull in a different pattern. So this is another Christmas paper from Doodlebug. So I am bringing in another piece of the paper that I used for her dress. And I'm going to make a layer out of that. And then I'm going to cut it out with this gingham. So it's going to be the gingham, then this kind of star paper. And then we're going to put then we're going to just kind of layer it and put it all together. I don't know what color this is. This is something from Stampin' Up, maybe gingerbread or something. I really have no idea. But I cut it at 5.5 and then I've scored it at 4.25. Normally I would score both of the sides first, but I was like, I don't know that I'll use this as a card base again. But I did this time. So this is the scalloped rectangle die that was in the card front dies. I think it's what they were called from Stamp Anything. I don't think we have those anymore. I think they're retired. But I'm going to continue using some retired product because a lot of you have been fans for a hot minute. And you probably have something like this in your stash from Stamp Anything. And we want to use our stuff, right? I have a whole project on my main channel that's called Project Use Your Stuff. And it's all about me using my stuff. I have I went through and picked out a few paper pads that I want to finish for the holiday card series. And then I think 12 or 15 stamp sets I want to use for the holiday card series. And my goal is to get that done. So here's a sneak peek at a card I was working on. I didn't like the way his skin turned out, but I want I wanted a white layer for this. So I was able to add that down. I'm using some Scotch adhesive to adhere the this little retro groovy thing. And then I'm going to add the same thing to the back of her to get her adhered as well. Again, I didn't use the hello, but I want you to leave me a comment down below letting me know if you like the hello better or the sentiment better. Because I actually kind of like the hello, but it wouldn't stick. I put the double-sided adhesive from Scrapbook Adhesives. That stuff didn't stick to anything. I should have just used my regular adhesive, but I didn't. So I'm bringing in some of those glitter dots that you saw me with earlier. Sorry, my husband's home and he slammed the door. So I'm adhering those with some mini glue dots. I'm going to put 3 up here and then 2 on the bottom layer or the bottom left side. That's normally what I do when I use rhinestones or other kind of embellishments like that. And here's when I decided to go ahead and bring in a sentiment. So I'm bringing in the Gossip one. First, I'm going to add just a little bit more black. I didn't stamp it very well. And this is what I do. That's a Micron brush pen. So I'm going to be doing some heat embossing. I pulled out this little scrap of paper and I'm going to add some anti-static tool. And then we're going to stamp it with some Versamark ink and then use some white embossing powder and melt that down. And I love heat embossing. It's one of my favorite techniques. It packs a big punch for sure. So we're going to get that heated with a tool heat gun. It takes, this is like a nanosecond, but in real life, it takes about 10 seconds to warm up the heat tool. And you can see it melt. It's so much fun. Embossing powder is literally just like powdered plastic. It's so much fun. So I'm adding the sentiment and then we're done. We are done. D-O-N-E done. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this sentiment better or the hello sentiment better. I feel like she turned out so stinking cute. I hope you love her as much as I do. I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. And I'll see you next Friday for another video. Bye for now.